your most local and active agency located at 21 to 23 Atherton Road in Oakleigh. Thanks very much, Proven. You're a gentleman. Thank you very much. Today's auction, ladies and gentlemen, will be conducted, of course, in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that are made available prior to the start of today's auction. And the contract of sale and Section 32 has been prepared by our vendor's legal representative, which does allow us to sell the property here at 2/18 Cameron Avenue in Oakleigh South for auction today. Of course, if you are the successful purchaser, we will invite you inside where you will receive, of course, a fantastic bottle of champagne that Sienna's handpicked for herself. More importantly, with this balance of monies due in either 30, 45 or 60 days time, unless something has been previously agreed. Of course, you will be receiving vacant possession for the property with all fixed floor coverings, electric light fittings and window furnishings, and anything of a permanent nature inclusive within today's sale. Now, like everything else in the world that we're currently going through at the moment, today's auction is governed by a few rules, and as the auctioneer, I must read these to you. That today's auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that are made available prior to the start of today's auction. The vendors, they have a reserve price, and a very, very realistic reserve price at that. The auction rules, well, they prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. What does that mean? If you are here to purchase today, ladies and gentlemen, and bid, please make your intentions nice and clear. If we are on the market and we've hit reserve price and I say sold, I cannot accept a late bid. So if you are here to bid, please ensure that you are making that very, very clear, or do seek some assistance from the crowd. As the auctioneer, I will indicate the bidders upon request. The law, it prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and of course does provide fines for this conduct. The rules, they permit vendor bids. I don't like using them. I much prefer the bids coming from you than I. And the words I will use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of my vendors are very, very simple. Vendor bid. And by law, only I, as the auctioneer, may make a vendor bid. Firstly, I must thank, of course, my incredible owners who have allowed me the opportunity, and Sienna, to market this incredible home in the marketplace 2/18 Cameron Avenue in Oakleigh South. What we have found throughout the inspections, of course, is that it's been a popular property, and it's been popular for a reason. The fact that it's single level, the fact that it's got 3 generous sized bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street garage lock-up, location. Easter's coming up. I'm a big family man, as you guys can imagine. I love us Lucky and a Yido and Arnir on the lamb and the Shuvlo, and you name it. That back rear courtyard is going to get a workout if I was the buyer, but hey, I'm not the one purchasing today. If you are looking for a home, though, that you can either buy as a first home buyer, and there's a few of you there. If you're upsizing from your apartments or your units, well, this is going to be a fantastic one. Or for the numerous downsizers that are in the crowd, it makes sense to bid and bid well today for 2/18 Cameron Avenue right here in Oakleigh South. The location, well, it speaks for itself. We're zoned for both Oakleigh South Primary and Oakleigh South Secondary School zones. We're surrounded by an abundance amount of golf courses, parklands. Obviously, there's one playground directly over the road. And the great news is that you've got Bunnings literally on your doorstep for every Saturday to get your sausages, which is fantastic as well. The location itself, Eden Mall, you're 5 minutes up the road, Huntingdale Road shops, Clayton Road shops. The list keeps on going, as you can imagine. But more importantly, the people that are in this suburb, fantastic family people, and that's why I'm so passionate about Oakleigh South and exactly what Oakleigh South has got to offer. The market at the moment, a lot of people are talking about it. What's happening in the market, Dim? We're not getting a lot of properties like this one, that's for sure. And you can tell from the turnout of people that it's popular, and it's popular for a reason. Stock is low, which makes properties like this a dime a dozen. They are popular, and they are popular for a reason. For the 3 or 4 of you that are here today, I wish you truly the very best of luck, and I ask you one thing, to give it your absolute shot. Do not go back home begging tonight and thinking, honey, we should have gone an extra 5. If you're here to bid today, bid with confidence. And that's certainly how I bid for clients. If we do hit the reserve price, you hear the words say, we're on the market and we're selling. And you call it down on the first, second, and on the third call. If the contract hits my hand, we are sold. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been quoting a very, very realistic $825,000 to $875,000. Our vendors have given me a very realistic reserve price. That's enough from me. Time to go shopping. Buy yourself an early Easter present, not Christmas yet, that's for sure, Tim. Nearly got excited there for a second, Tim. I'm glad it's not Christmas yet because it gets expensive for me. Well, let's go, ladies and gentlemen, let's go shopping. Where can I see a fair and reasonable start? Happy to take a start at 800 and we can take it in tens from there. At 800, welcome in and best of luck with your opportunity today, sir. At 800,000, take an 810 from there. What do we say? And we'll keep rising till we're on the market and keep selling from there. At $800,000, a little 10 if you like to get yourselves in front. What do we say, ladies and gentlemen? At 800,000, bids right in front. At 800,000, first calls with myself at $800,000 with the gentleman in front and a huge smile at this level. Let me remind you that the vendors are giving us a very, very realistic reserve price. And at this stage, this fine gentleman in front of me is going to be holding the keys to this incredible property. But at 800,000, I'll take a 10 from there to get us back in front. What are we saying? If we don't know, just bid. At 800,000, first call at 800,000. Little 810 to get your nose back in front. What are we saying? For the second call at 810. Yeah, I'll take it. 20. 30. Sorry?
40.
30, 40 already in front. I'll take the 850 if we like, wherever I can see it in the crowd at all. At 800, at 850, 60. We're on the market, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We are selling at $860,000. What are we saying? Get your nose in front now at $860,000. 75. I'll take it. 875. 900?
Yeah, 900.
Makes sense, I agree. At $900,000 right in front. 910 anywhere at all in the crowd. Let's go shopping, ladies and gentlemen. At $900,000 directly in front with me at $900,000.
910?
910. At 910. 920?
No.
910. Oh, we're not sure. Now we're thinking. Now we're hesitating. Let's go. At 910,000. Certainly big smiles at this level at 910. I'll call it down 3 times. First call at 910,000. For the second call at 905. 915. At 915. I'll offer you the same opportunity at 920. What do we say? Don't think, just bid. At 920. Thanks, Sienna. Great. You buying it? At 920. I love it. At 920. 925. What do we say? 925. What do we say? 25. 30.
Yep. 30.
Sienna, I tell you what, you're really going shopping with other people's money. You're good at that. At $930,000 to my left. 35. Mind you, I don't want to stay in the sun too long. I get sunstroke. Just. I'll be going to Turkey for a transplant before you know it. At $930,000. What are we saying? 935? At 935. Fantastic. 40. At 935, I'll offer everybody the same opportunity at 935,000, ladies and gentlemen, directly in front with me at 935,000. I'll call it down 3 times. I'll be fair and equal to everybody as much as I can. First call at 935,000. For the second call at
950.
Ooh, it's knockout. 950. 950. 950 to my left. 950 to my left hand side at 950. Again, there's a few of you holding back. More can get involved at this level. But at 950,000 bids to my left hand side, what are we saying? First call at 950. Second call at $950,000. 952. 2.5, because I can count better that way. 552, that's right, you win this battle. At 952, I'm not going to be a hot shot. At 952, 955, can I say create some separation? We're out, we're saying. 953, again, I'll offer you the same opportunity, I count better in 2.5. At 53, you win this battle as well. At 953. 955, what do we say? Everybody's got their limit and maybe they're getting to theirs. But at 953,000 on my left-hand side, Sienna, whatever you were doing before, keep doing it, it's working. At 953,000, I'll offer everybody the same opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll call it down 3 times. If there is no further bid, I will be selling. First call at 953,000. For the second call at 953,000. I'm not even going to try and get better than you on that. 954. 960 to create some separation. What do we think, guys? At 954, I'll give you some time to think. Sienna, get to work. At $954,000. A bit of a sweat starting to come now. At 954, it's hot. Just like the property market. But at 954,000 to my left-hand side, I'll call it down 3 times. First call at 954,000. Second call at 954,000.
955.
956.
55, 56, 57,
7.
57, 58. We're out. I appreciate it. And 957 on my left-hand side. Only inspected the property on Thursday. Incredible what a late inspection can do. At $957,000. I'll call it down 3 times, ladies and gentlemen. First call at 957,000. Might unbutton this one because it's getting a bit hot now. For the second call at 957,000.
One more.
Wait.
What's that? What's the one? 10,000 more or 958? 160? 958,000. Right in front with me, ladies and gentlemen. Instructions, please. At
960.
960. Take me to $1 million, I reckon. At $960,000. $960,000.
It looks good on your portfolio.
Let's hope. At $960,000. First call at 960. Second call at $960,000. For the third and the 961. Add into the drama. You don't work in television by any chance, do you? 961. Directly in front, what are we saying, guys, at 961? It's a 3-horse race at this stage. To my left-hand side, haven't forgotten either, at 961. Sorry, I'll try and stop yelling so the baby can sleep, trust me. At $961,000. Need some instructions, please, guys. At 961, I'll call it down 3 times. First call at 961,000. For the second call at 961,000.
What about 500?
No, I don't like 500s. I count better in thousands. For the third and the final call at 9.
Alright, 1,000.
There we go. I won that one. 62, 63, 65, 65 at $965,000. 965,000. Are we all done? Are we finished? Are we silent? At $965,000. I'll call it down a further 3 times like I've been doing and see what happens here. At $965,000. The instructions, please. Emily, Sienna, instructions, please. At $965,000. I'll call it down 3 times. First call at $965,000. Second call at $965,000. 66. 966. 70? 70? Sienna, you're a good shot with other people's money for a start. Let's go back to that method. At $966,000. Instructions, ladies and gentlemen, I'll offer you plenty of time like I've done to everybody else today as well. But at $966,000. First call at $966,000. Second call at $966,000. For the third and the final call at 967. 970 makes sense. That's what I would do. I'm just a real estate agent though, so don't listen to me. But at 967,000. 967. Maybe my option will for later on. At 967. 967 is the bid, Sienna. At 967, ladies and gentlemen, incredible buying opportunity. And buy your weekends back prior to Easter. The Easter Bunny has come early and his name's Dimitri. But at 967,000, ladies and gentlemen, first call at 967. Second call at 967. For the third.
1,000.
What?
1,000.
968. Got him first. 968. 968 on my right hand side. 970 to create some separation. At 968. Absolutely dry cleaning your shirt after me. I am sweltering. At $968,000. I'll call it down a further 3 times and we'll make an opportunity from there. But at 968, call it down 3 times. First call at 968,000. Second call at 968,000. For the third and the final call.
970.
970, there we go. 970. At $970,000. Might just get some shade for the time being. At $970,000. Well, there's a car coming down the driveway, is it? Because it's probably bad timing. But at $970,000, Sienna, Emily, instructions, please. At $970,000. Are we all done? Are we all finished? Are we all silent? At $970,000. We're out?
No, where's it?
We're at 970? Of course we are. At $970,000.
Pay attention, man.
At $970,000. You look different, sorry, I think it's the sun.
Get you a hat.
I do definitely need a hat. I think the sun's doing things to me at the moment. But at $970,000, I call it down 3 times. First call at 970. Second call at 970. Third, final call. Are we out?
1,000.
Hey? 971. Tell you what, I'm really working for it, aren't we, Sienna? At 971. Sun's doing amazing things at 971. This feels like we're at gather round with that many people here. But at $971,000, 972?
We're in the wrong state.
We're in the wrong state. We are in the wrong state. We should do gather round in Melbourne. What does that sound?
That's every week.
That's very true. At $971,000 on my right-hand side. Instructions, please, in front. Instructions, please, to the left. At $971,000. I'll call it down a further 3 times. First call at 971. Second call at 971. Third and final call at 970.
Pay 500.
Better in 1,000.
No, I want 500.
Better in 1,000.
I wanted a 500.
You might miss out the property then. At 900.
I'll rent you the room for 500.
Hey,
I'll rent you the room for 500.
I'm at my mum's at the moment. She's not charging anything. At 971,000, and I get my cooking and cleaning done as well. Can you throw that in too? At 970.
Dimitri.
At 971,000. Sorry?
Don't worry.
Yeah, Mrs. is putting pressure, don't worry about that. At 971,000, I'll call it down a further 3 times, ladies and gentlemen. There is no further bid. We will be selling to my right-hand side. I'll take 1,000, but as I said, nothing less than that. At 971,000. First call at 971. Second call at 971. For the third and the final call at 971,000. Are we all finished? 972. At 972. 73 will take me to 75. At 972 directly in front. At $972,000. Bid is directly in front and they are holding the keys well and truly. But at 972,000, are we all done? Are we all finished? Are we all silent? At 972,000, I'll call it down a further 3 times and see how we go from there. But at 972,000, I can see Sienna's taking this personally and really wants them to get it. Very competitive young lady at 972,000. First call at 972. 973. That was a quick one. At 973. 75? 974. We're at 974 in front. 75? At 974. Instructions, please, guys, at 974. First call at 974. 75. At 975. At 975,000. Incredible auction at 975,000. Call it down 3 times. First call at 975. Second call at 975. Third and final call at 975,000. Are we out? Definitely out?
Jim.
976.
Seven.
Hey?
7.
977. 978. 978. Definitely out on my left hand side. At 978. Let me get that fly away from you so you can think. I don't want anything interrupting your thinking right now at 978,000. I do not have another one like this that I can replicate, ladies and gentlemen, so if you are here to bid, give it your absolute best. That is what I can definitely say to you. But at 978,000, I'll need some instructions, please. At 978,000, I'll call it down a further 3 times. First call at 978. Second call at 978,000. 980. Everybody's got a limit, and sometimes we just got to stretch past ours. But at $980,000, are we all done? Are we finished? Are we silent at 980? Are we out? At 980,000. Call it down a further 3 times, ladies and gentlemen. Haven't forgotten about you guys over here on my left-hand side either. Apparently, I was running to rent a room. At 9, does the offer still stand?
Nope. Oh, no.
At $980,000. First call at 980. Second call at 980. Third and final call at 81. What are we thinking? At 981,000. At $981,000. Give you some time. Anybody else in the crowd more can get involved at this level. But at $981,000, I'll call it down 3 times. First call at 981. 981. Second call at 981. For the third and the final call, 9,000. 982. Hey? You're playing very nice to one another. I tell you that much. I might have taken a drink break at this stage. And 982. If it was me, I'd go knock our fit at $1 million. That's just me though. I know it's not my money, but I'm just trying to help the situation, guys. At 982,000. But seriously, the ones aren't working, guys. Someone has to give in here. But at $982,000, call it down a further 3 times. First call at 982. Second call at 982. For the third and the final call at 982,000. Are we all done? Are we finished? Are we silent? 85. Nice one. At 985. We're out of some separation. At 985,000. What are we thinking? I'll let you think. At 985,000. Definitely out on our left-hand side. 985. Keys are in front. At 985,000. I'll call it down 3 times. And on the first call at 985, is that a bid, sir? Or the Suns? You guys are in the shade. At 985,000. At this stage, we'll miss dinner as well. At 985,000 in front, I'll call it down 3 times. First call at 985. Second call at 985. Third,
1,000.
986, 990. 990 makes sense. At 986,000. Everyone's on the phone. Everyone's speaking to their bank managers on a Saturday. At 986,000, are we all done? Guys, instructions, please. At 986,000. At 986,000. 986,000. Do you want to call the auction min? At 986,000. Let's go. Let's try this one more time. at 986,000. We'll call it down 3 times. Decisions have been made in front, but at 986, we'll call it down 3 times. First call at 986. Second call at 986 000. 988. 988. 988. 988. Pressure's on. I know, I don't like pressure either, trust me. At 988,000, call it down 3 times. Ladies and gentlemen, we've all had plenty of time to think, but at 988,000, call it down for a further 3 times and go from there. But at $988,000, are we all done? Are we all finished? Are we all silent? Everybody's on the phone. Call it down 3 times. First call at 988. Second call at 988. Third, final call at 988. Instructions, please, Emily. Need to know. At 89. 990. 990. My opinion, just take it to $1 million. But hey, don't listen to me. At $990,000. Sienna's getting a good tan. She's loving it. At $990,000. Ladies and gentlemen, need to know at $990,000. First call at 990. Second call at 990. Third and final call at $990,000. Are we out? Definitely out. Appreciate it. Definitely out. Confirmed at $990,000. Everybody else out. First call, second call, third, final call at $990,000. Definitely out. Done. Definitely out. Confirmed. Sold. Congratulations. And welcome to Thank you so much for everybody for attending. And yet again, any questions, please give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God.